Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Definitely. Always love digging into these sources.
We've got a really interesting collection this time, all about the 99 Project, and I think you'll be surprised by the connections we uncover.
I've got to admit, I was pretty intrigued when I first saw these sources. A play, a documentary, and a series of personal stories. Seems like a pretty diverse mix.
It is. But as we dig deeper, we'll see how they all explore this idea of individual voices grappling with some pretty big collective challenges.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Exactly. So we've got 99 Flins, a play set in a factory, 99 Women Senegal, a documentary about, well, 99 women in Senegal, and then 99 stories, which seems to be all about the why behind the choices we make in life.
It's amazing how these seemingly separate projects can actually come together to shed light on what we're all facing as a society.
Absolutely. So let's start with 99 Flins. What makes this play so unique is that it's not just about a factory. It's actually written and performed by the workers of the Renault Refactory in Flins, France.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Imagine the stories they have to tell.
Right. And the play dives into 30 years of history at this factory. This factory is like a symbol of the French auto industry, so you can imagine the changes it's seen over the years.
Like what kind of changes?
Well, the play grapples with the shift from traditional car manufacturing to becoming a hub for this thing called the circular economy.
The circular economy. I've heard that term, but what is it exactly?
Well, from what I understand, it's a model that tries to eliminate waste and pollution by keeping materials in use for as long as possible.
That's interesting. So instead of just making new cars all the time, they're finding ways to reuse and recycle materials.
Exactly. So you can imagine the impact this kind of change has on the people who work there.
Yeah, that's a huge shift. It makes you wonder what it was like for these workers to go through that transition.
That's what's so cool about this play. It gives us a glimpse into that experience.
I bet hearing those stories firsthand would be really powerful.
Oh, absolutely. The play is actually coming back on stage on November 7th.
Oh, wow. Thinking about going.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe we could even do a follow-up after seeing it. But, it's not just about cars and factories. It's about how we all adapt to change, especially with something as massive as the need for a more sustainable world. I mean, we're all kind of navigating a similar shift in a way, aren't we?
Yeah, I think you're right. We're all facing big changes in our own lives, and it can be tough to know how to navigate them.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about 99 Women Senegal, a documentary directed by Dame Diallo.
This one looks really interesting. I read that it takes us to Casamance, Senegal.
Yeah, and it follows a group of women entrepreneurs who are supported by this organization called Entrepreneurs du Monde. They're all coming together to create a play, also called 99 Women Senegal. It's a cool connection to the overall project, right?
Yeah, I like that. It's like they're all part of this bigger conversation.
Exactly.
You know what's really striking is that this film couldn't be more relevant, especially with what's happening in Matam right now.
What's happening in Matam?
Northern Senegal has been hit with some pretty devastating floods recently, and these floods have had a major impact on farmers, particularly women.
Wow, I hadn't heard about that. That's awful.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation, and it really highlights the film's message about how climate change affects different groups of people in different ways.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is a good place to pause for now. We'll pick up with 99 Women Senegal in part 2 of our deep dive into the 99 Project. It's just heartbreaking to think about those floods, especially when we know climate change is already hitting vulnerable communities harder than anyone.
Yeah, it's a real problem. But the film doesn't just focus on the challenges. It also shows how resilient these women are. Like their entrepreneurial spirit really shines through.
Oh, I bet.
Well, maybe after you see the film, you can actually learn more about Aissatou and other women like her at a screening on December 13th.
Oh, screening. Where is it?
It's at the Crédit Agricole campus in Montrouge.
Yeah.
And after the film, there's going to be a debate with some really interesting people.
Like who?
Well, Armel Renaudin, the co-founder of Entrepreneurs du Monde, will be there.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a great opportunity to really dig into these issues.
Yeah, it's not just about watching a film, it's about starting a conversation.
I like that. So we've talked about a play written, performed by factory workers, and a documentary about resilient women entrepreneurs. What's next?
Well, now we're moving from Senegal to stories from all over the world with 99 stories. This one takes a more personal look at individual choices.
Yeah, 99 stories.
Yeah.
I'm curious about this one. It seems to be all about the why behind the decisions we make, why we do the things we do.
Exactly. It's like a collection of stories from all over Nice, Marseille, Paris, Marrakech,
Right.
even Kuala Lumpur.
Wow, all over the place.
And they all explore the reasons behind people's big life moments, their turning
Oh,
points.
that's interesting. So what kind of stories are we talking about?
Well, there's one about why someone decided to move to New York, another one about why someone suddenly felt the urge to learn to ski.
Learn to ski out of the blue.
Yep, and even one about why someone chose to just be silent and observe the world for a while.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What makes people make these big decisions? What are those moments that change everything?
Right, like what were the thoughts, the feelings, the circumstances that led them there?
It's like we're getting a glimpse into all these different lives. They remind us that behind all the statistics and the headlines, there are real people whose lives are being shaped by these events.
And by listening to their stories, we can better understand the challenges we face, the solutions that are out there, and the power of human connection.
It's like we're all part of this big human story.
We are. And each of us has something to contribute.
I love that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the 99 Project, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Go ahead.
What if we all approach the world with a little more curiosity, a little more empathy, and a willingness to truly listen to each other's stories?
That's a powerful thought. What kind of world could we create if we all did that?
It's a question worth asking. And I think the 99 Project gives us a glimpse of what's possible.
Yeah.
Even in the face of huge challenges, there's hope, resilience, and that deep human connection we can all tap into.
It's inspiring stuff.
It is. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep listening because there's so many stories out there waiting to be heard.